When you're hurt and someone's violated your rights, you want to be heard. You want someone to hear your story. But how you tell your story matters to whether you're truly heard. So here what we're going to do is we're going to break down how to tell your story so you're heard and so you can get the justice that you deserve. You may feel like your boss is being a jerk or your coworker is unkind, but what matters under the law is that the actions they take against you. We're going to focus on the illegal actions that they've taken against you so you can tell your story and have action taken for you. So number one, we're going to focus on were you retaliated against? Were you demoted, denied a promotion, fired, denied an opportunity for more pay? Were you discriminated against? Was action taken against you because of who you are, your race, your gender, your age, protected categories like that? We want you to focus not just on how you feel, but on the illegal actions that your employer took against you. So when you're talking about your story and what happened to you at work, you want to focus on the facts of how you were harmed. And so the facts of how you were harmed can include losing your job, losing money, being unable to provide for your family, losing your retirement, your health insurance. We want you to focus on the specific facts of how you were harmed. There is a whole backstory to everything that happened, but we want you to focus on the facts of how you were harmed so we can best help you and so courts and mediators and arbitrators and everyone with power can make these things right for you. So when you're telling your story of what happened to you at work, you want to be sure that you know who your audience is when you're telling that story. So what I mean by your audience is you want to make sure you're either talking to the EEOC, your attorney, a mediator, or a judge. How you tell your story depends on whether you're talking to your attorney, a mediator, a judge, or the EEOC. So I'll give you quick examples for each. If you're talking to your attorney, you want to give them the whole story. You want to tell them everything. You want to start with the facts of what happened to you and how that impacted you. What your coworker did at lunch that one day. If it doesn't relate to your case, it might be funny, but your attorney doesn't necessarily need to know that. If you're talking to the EEOC, you need to focus on the illegal act that happened to you. You can give them the context. It's private. It's a safe space to tell them everything that happened. But again, you need to focus on the illegal acts. When you're speaking to a judge or a mediator, you don't really want to give them the whole background. You want to just answer their questions directly in a sentence or two, because again, everything you say to a judge or a mediator, the other side might use against you. So you want to be very careful when you're speaking to a judge or a mediator and not give them the whole background and not give them all the details, just the key points. And that contrasts again with when you're talking to your attorney or when you're in an EEOC process. Those are some tips about how to best tell your story so you can get the outcome that you deserve. So when you're telling your story about how you've been harmed at work, one thing you don't want to do is go down what we call a rabbit hole.
After all, we haven't been invited, and curiosity often leads to trouble.
You don't want to go off on a side point that doesn't relate to what happened to you and how to get what you want. And so all too often when people have been through something traumatic, something hard, it's easy to go into every side detail and go off into this rabbit hole. But just like a sharp tool, you want your story to do the job exactly. You don't want to have a dull blade where you can't chop down the tree. You want your story to be sharp. You don't want to go down the rabbit hole. Get to the point, tell them what you want, and let's work together to get a good outcome for you. So when you had something that happened to you at work, here's some tips on what not to do. Don't share it online. I'll say that again, don't share it online. Don't even talk about it with your coworkers offline. Remember, anything online is public. Even if you think it's private, someone can find it, the information is out there, the metadata can show that you did it. Remember, don't post anything online, and also don't talk about it with other people. When you've been through something at work that you need a law firm for, you really don't want to talk about it with anyone but your lawyer. So when you've had something happen to you at work, that you've been a victim of, that there's an injustice that you need to correct with a law firm, the way to do that is to tell your story, tell your narrative in the most direct, concise, and short way to get what you want. The way to achieve the outcome that you want, to get the justice that you deserve, is to be clear, direct, and short. Be brief. Focus on what happened to you. And if you do all of those things, you'll get a good outcome. You'll do what you can do to control that outcome. So if you've had something bad happen to you at work, if you've had an adverse employment action, like you've been terminated, denied a promotion, retaliated against, harassed, discriminated against, here at Punchwork, we've got you. You can call us, you can text us, you can email us, you can fill out one of our forms. We've got the link here for you. Whatever happened to you, we've got you. We can come up with a plan together. We can tell your story in a way that gets you what you want.